Hello. Did you know there are 30 plus symptoms of menopause? Yeah, 30 plus symptoms. Yes. So when you're going through this perimenopausal phase to menopause phase, which can start from mid to late 30s through, geez, I don't know, 50s, early 60s, we're talking a couple decades here at least. There can be some crazy things that are occurring inside our bodies, which we thought once were our friends, but now it seems to be some foreign invader has taken over. Having discovered this plethora of symptoms in my own body, this become very interesting to me. So I'm doing some deep diving into all these things called menopause symptoms, and I wanted to share those with you guys. And it's a long list, so let's get started. Oh my goodness. Yes. So for those of you who don't know, menopause is a natural phase, right? It's not a disease. It's just something that all women will go through if you live long enough, right? And so basically it just marks the end of your reproductive years, right? It brings a wide range of physical and emotional and mental changes because there's a lot of complex hormone shifts going on. And I want you to highlight some of these 30 different symptoms that you might be experiencing. So if you connect with these, you won't feel like, wow, I thought it was just me. You're not alone, my friend. So we'll start with the big one that everyone's aware of, hot flashes, right? So these are like sudden, intense feelings of heat, often accompanied by sweating and flushing. So granted, I've done everything I told people: eat more soy, exercise, keep a proper weight, healthy eating, you name it, plant-based eating. Still got some hot flashes, but my mom and my grandmother suffered intense hot flashes well into their 60s. So I knew I was already at a genetic disadvantage, but it feels like someone turns on like an intense fire that no one else can experience and appreciate the warmth that we're enjoying inside. Maybe not so warmth and enjoying. You feel sweaty and then you're cold. Then you get really cold. At least that was my experience. But anyway, I will share my story later about how these things improved, but just wanted to share that with you. The next is night sweats. It's basically putting a hot flash in the middle of the night under covers so that you can sweat your clothes and sweat the sheets and then be cold and change clothes. Of course, you get the irregular periods. It plays with you. It gets shorter, then it gets longer. It might be heavy. It might be light. You're thinking, oh, it's been gone for 2 months. Oh, only to reappear. There's that irregular periods. Now, some women will just shut down immediately, and some women go through surgical menopause. And again, if you have your ovaries removed, or even if you do just remove the uterus, you're at higher risk of going through menopause earlier. So again, that's just something to be mindful of. So yes, irregular periods will be a big piece of that. And of course, it's usually one of the first symptoms that you notice. Again, I'll share more of my personal story later, but just wanted to share that piece. Next is vaginal dryness, right? So there's reduced moisture and elasticity in the vaginal tissue, and that can be very uncomfortable, especially during sexual intercourse, which is the next symptom, painful intercourse. Again, due to that vaginal dryness. Sleep disturbances, you'll have difficulty falling and staying asleep. Again, often associated with mood swings, night sweats, stress, anxiety. Like, who would want to go through menopause if you read these symptoms? Next, it's mood swings, right? You have sudden changes in mood swings like irritability, sadness, anger. If you had, basically symptoms around your period every month, you're more likely to get those type of mood symptoms, by the way, as you transition to a menopausal state. Just so you're aware of that. Again, some with that, you can see increased depression. You can also see increased anxiety. So many times your doctor will just not even latch those on to the particular type or phase that you're going through with menopause. And they just try to prescribe you maybe some SSRIs or something like that without kind of digging down deeper into more of the root symptoms, which might be stemming from menopause. Another big one I hear from ladies is fatigue, right? So they feel this like they were doing okay, and suddenly there's this huge amount of fatigue. Now, it could stem from a lot of things, including decreased sleep. But again, I think there is some fatigue issues going on here because our brains are changing. Yes, estrogen in the brain, very important. There's a great book called Menopause Brain. You guys check it out. It's fantastic. Next is memory problems. You're like, where did I put my keys? Of course, this could be caused, we call it brain fog, but again, the estrogen piece is so important. But check out the Menopause Brain book, like I mentioned. It'll go into much more deeper detail about how and why this is occurring. Some great research is also starting to happen around women in menopause changes. Again, coming with that brain fog is difficulty concentrating, kind of almost like I was okay and now suddenly I have adult onset ADHD. Well, maybe it's some hormonal shifts that are occurring through the menopause change. You could also get headaches. Yeah. Joint pain. That was a big one for me and quite a surprise, especially on the lateral hip area. That was the most bizarre and crazy symptom, I think, beyond the hot flashes, which I would expect, and maybe a little of the moodiness and brain, just not quite grabbing words and such. Like, you're like, hey, what was I trying to say? The joint pain in the hips. I was like, what am I, 90? No, wasn't 90. I was just going through the change. The change is lovely. Anyway, moving on, muscle pain. Similar idea, stiffness, joint stiffness, you get a little bit of muscle pain as well. Weight gain, especially around the belly. Great. There's a whole host of reasons for this. You're getting changes. I kind of went into a little bit deeper later yesterday about how estrogen affects the different shifts of how adipose tissue is actually stored, the insulin resistance, and where that all shifts. You'll get also lipid changes. My lipid panel changed. My LDL went up above 100 for the first time in my life. And I freaked out slightly. I was like, what is going on? My body's breaking down. And no, it's gone back to normal now. It's back down where it needs to be. But again, I'll share my personal story later, but you're not alone, ladies. You're not alone. Next is a slowed metabolism, right? We're decreasing our muscle mass. We're not as active, yada, yada. Next, you will see thinning hair. Hair loss is fairly common, especially kind of diffuse loss. Dry skin on the face, vaginal area, other dry skin. You feel kind of crepey going on. Loss of breastfulness, those things changes in libido. There's less sexual desire or interest. Along with the vaginal dryness tissue there, you get some urinary incontinence that can occur. You can also increase risk for urinary tract infections. Many times a topical estradiol is very, very helpful for that. So if you found that as you've entered into menopause and you have these chronic infections occurring, you might want to ask your doctor about application of an estradiol cream. And many times that can be safe for even those who have risk factors that they wouldn't be benefit from, like a systemic type of estrogen or progesterone. So definitely wanted to point that out because I know that can be really frustrating. Bloating, right? Some changes in the abdomen metabolism. You can get dizziness, heart palpitations, changes in taste, burning tongue, and some other, again, like I mentioned, digestive issues. So I'm just going to run through these all again because I know this was a lot and I didn't go deep into it because, again, I could literally take one of these and do a deep dive. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. It's a lot. So hot flashes, night sweats, irregular periods, vaginal dryness, painful intercourse, sleep disturbances, mood swings, depression, anxiety, fatigue, memory problems, difficulty concentrating, headaches, joint pain, muscle pain, weight gain, slowed metabolism, thinning hair, dry skin, loss of breastfulness, changes in libido, urinary incontinence, urinary tract infections, bloating, dizziness, heart palpitations, changes in taste, tingling sensations, burning tongue, and digestive issues. Holy moly. That seems like a lot. And then if that's overwhelming to you, you, my friend, are not alone. I'm here to help. So the big thing that I like to focus in on is understanding that one of the most disturbing and difficult things women deal with is also weight gain, insulin resistance. Again, these can have dramatic effects on your longevity and overall health. So I did want to just point that out for you. So if you were finding that you're worried about your metabolic health or your overall in general health, not just necessarily the symptoms that you're having, which alone can decrease your quality of life, I'd encourage you to check out my free masterclass. The link is going to be somewhere in there. I think on the description below or in my bio if you're on Instagram. And again, it's the 5 steps to master metabolism and lose weight. Many of these things are going to improve your menopausal symptoms, but we're going to talk about how you assess your own metabolic health. This isn't just a plain old, hey, you just do everything, but really it's how you assess it, learning what you need to know. It gets into how do you create your own plan, personalized around what your body is doing, because obviously not every single woman's going to have every single one of these symptoms. They may enter into menopause beautifully, and I'm so thankful that there are women who do that, but not all of us were given those menopausal ease dealt, hand cards or cards dealt with life. I was not. It is disturbing. And luckily I have the education to understand, to know what to look for and what to do. And I want to share that with you. But anyway, once you understand, you can personalize it, and then how to, activate that and make habits around it. I also speak to some of the habits that, four of the biggest mistakes people struggle with when they try to lose weight. So anyway, check out again, it's a free masterclass. I hope you find this helpful. And the link is below. If this isn't for you, please share this with someone maybe you know, a sister, a mother, a grandmother, a niece, a friend, a colleague, and please share the video with someone that you might find it helpful. Please subscribe and click the little link. I think or the little bell to make sure whenever I come on live. I haven't been able to set a time just because my schedule is a little crazy right now of regular lives, but I try to get on here every day and share some more insight. And I am convinced now that I will be I've already looked into it and started kind of studying for my menopause certification to really become more helpful in this arena, because it is something else. I'll just say it that way. So it's not our enemy. We will embrace it. We shouldn't be afraid of it, but we should also feel like we can come somewhere and get good information and keep up to date on the research and what's available for us to take care of it. So again, as always, thank you guys so much for spending time with me. I really love it when you guys are here. I so appreciate your time, and because I know I can't get that back. So appreciate all of you. Sending you love, joy, peace, and of course, above all else, your healing. And have a great rest of your day. Thank you again for spending time with me.